Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic. Hello and welcome to another BoshNRoll video. Today I'm playing Legacy, and this is Black-Green Eldrazi from Patreon subscriber Jake. Jake said that they put up a 5-0 with this deck, and that's a strong endorsement from me. I like it. So the core of this deck is the traditional Eldrazi aggro deck. Eye of Ugin, Eldrazi Temple, City of Traders, and Ancient Tomb. Cheat on mana, so you can put big creatures into play sooner than you should be able to. Cavern of Souls makes them uncounterable. That's all pretty standard. If you've played Modern or Legacy at all in the past, like, what is it, 5-6 years now, you've probably seen this deck. It's got Chalice of the Void, because there's no 1-drops, and then you just try to get over the finish line. This is one of the very few true aggro decks in Legacy. They really are just trying to disrupt you a little bit and deal 20 damage. And that's what this deck does. So normally this deck is colorless. Sometimes we've seen red or white splashed in, but this build is not red, it's not white. It is in fact both black and green. So Golgari Eldrazi we got here. In the main deck, Realmwalker is the green card. So we've got, as it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Look at the top card of your library. You may cast creature spells of the chosen type from the top of the library. So running out of cards is one of the problems that the Eldrazi deck has. Like, if your opponent sticks something like Tarmogoyf that you can't attack through with your 1 or 2 creatures that you have, you might be stuck. So true card advantage in a deck like this is pretty scary, so that's what Realmwalker's for. Elvish Spirit Guide helps cheat on mana, and you've chosen the Elvish one because it's also green for Realmwalker. And then Dismember, an honorary black card. This is in most Eldrazi decks, whether they're black or not. But there are Llanowar Waste and Urborgs in this deck to actually cast this thing. And then in the sideboard is Plague Engineer. So there is an actual black card that you want to cast in the 75. Plague Engineer is really great in creature matchups, which is where Eldrazi tend to flounder a little. Like I mentioned, Tarmogoyf. If your opponent just has a bigger creature than you, your whole deck is basically based on having the biggest creatures. So that can be a whammy. So creature matchups, Plague Engineer is here. Warping Whale is a colorless counterspell for decks like, or cards like Terminus or Show and Tell. Then we got the Thorn of Amethyst to punish the spell-based decks, and Ratchet Bomb to cure what ails you. So pretty straightforward Eldrazi deck with the addition of Realmwalker and Plague Engineer in the sideboard. Let's check it out. So before we get into this league, I'm just going to give a quick public service announcement that Eldrazi Temple taps for 2 mana to cast colorless Eldrazi spells. Realmwalker is a green Eldrazi spell. This is different than cards like Eldrazi Displacer and Drowner of Hope, because even though they take colored mana to cast, they have the devoid keyword, which means that they are colorless despite what mana you need to cast them. Realmwalker is not devoid. I didn't notice this important interaction until long after I finished recording this video, which caused significant frustration during the league. So, buyer beware. I do get grumpy about Magic Online and how buggy it is when I actually just fail to RTFC. So, read your cards, make sure you know what they do before you end up grumpy for no reason. That said, enjoy the video. Alright, so I'm on the play here. I have a turn 2 uncounterable Reality Smasher, if I want to go that hard. Or a turn 2 counterable Endbringer. This hand is pretty punished by Wasteland either way. I'm going to keep this though. I don't think you ship this sort of explosiveness. Reality Smasher coast to coast. So I'm going to play Temple and pass. And if they just like Wasteland me, that sucks, but whatever. If they don't Wasteland me, I'm getting a Smasher. And if they show me that they are something that doesn't play counterspells, I might just go for the Endbringer. See what they got. Oh, they had the Wasteland. Yeah, Wasteland is one of the cards that's very good against this deck in general. Alright, Eye of Ugin does the same thing, but better. Because now I have a... I guess it does mostly the same thing. Alright, second Wasteland. Alright, let's hope this is like a Delver deck that's just floundering and not a... like a lands deck that can recur these things. Though, my deck's done a pretty good job hitting the necessary land drops to keep the pressure up. Ooh, Dryad Arbor. Okay, so this is probably Maverick. So I could play the Smasher now. Now that they've worked through the two stable sources of mana, the City of Traders gets a little awkward. Because if I play this Smasher, I'm basically never playing this Endbringer. But if I don't get to work here, I may never play anything. Alright, I'm just gonna smash. And let's just hope this connects 4 times. Like, if they just have land Swords to Plowshares, that's brutal. But, I think if they had a land, they wouldn't have played Dryad Arbor. But that also means they kept a hand with Wasteland, Dryad Arbor for mana, so there's a good chance that this thing just gets answered. Oh, interesting. What the fuck? So they have Wasteland, Tundra, Basic Swamp, and Dryad Arbor in this deck. I don't know what's going on right now. Alright, so they have to discard a card for this. Pretty sure there's no basics in my deck. Confirmed. Alright, so I need something like Thought-Knot Seer or some way to get ahead in this game. Because if I just have to go land, set me back 2 turns, that's gonna suck. Alright. I think I'm gonna have to take my medicine here. Yeah, other than like top decking Spirit Guide, there's no reason not to play my land there. Maybe I should have played Cavern or Llanowar Waste instead of Temple to play around Wasteland. That's a good one. Okay, yeah, this double Wasteland start has certainly been punishing. And Maze of Ith is there to protect Liliana even if I do rip Reality Smasher. So, like, Matter Reshaper is one of my better cards right now. This is shitty. Cool. Drew the Smasher. So I'm gonna name Elf with the second Cavern. Yeah, I don't think I can win this game anymore. Like, maybe if they didn't have Maze of Ith and land gets me Smasher, but they get to plus and rip my Endbringer, and then I attack and they just Maze of Ith, and then they minus and get my Smasher. Yeah, this lined up very poorly. Yeah. Discard the one I can't cast. Alright. I'm not sure if I should keep playing. Like, I don't even know. Honestly, no idea. I'm gonna discard the Dismember. And they can ultimate Liliana next turn, but I don't think they need to. I'm not convinced that makes any sense. Fucking Mazavith, double wasteland. That's not the right thing. This one. Alright, so let's see if they want to minus to kill this, or just check it with the Mazavith. I think I would plus Liliana and just let Mazavith deal with this, but if you're worried about wasteland, maybe you play around that by minusing. And what's this Liliana doing anyway if she's not just eating creatures for free? Alright, I've seen enough. Alright, that was horrific. So, I kept a hand without a turn 1 play against double wasteland and got punished for it. That is what it is, I guess. Chalice of the Void. They are probably also a Chalice deck, so I'm not in a big hurry to do that. Leyline of the Void is going to affect this deck. It's just if it affects it in a way that I care about. Like Thorn of Amethyst could be good here. Like they have Planeswalkers, Abrupt Decays, Moxen. Like those cards are affected pretty well by Thorn. Do I want Leyline? Warping Whale, Exiles, Dryad Arbor, counters Green Sun Zenith. But I don't think that's where I want to be. I think I might just want to do this on the play. Like I don't want to overboard and then not have any pressure, because that's what happened that game. I kept a hand with some explosive pressure, but they were able to blunt the pressure a little bit, and then I just didn't draw another creature until they were set up. So I don't want to start boarding out creatures to have like Leyline of the Void in my deck. That's not the important axis of this matchup. And I do have my own wastelands to deal with Mazavith. I just need to get ahead on board before that matters. Okay, so this hand has a turn 1 Realmwalker. Just pretty stoked about that. I could also turn 1 Mimic and then turn 2 Realmwalker. Yeah, I think I want to lead on Mimic. Because saving the Spirit Guide, like if they don't have Wasteland and I top deck Smasher, like keeping the explosive potential. Alright, so the difference between what happened last game where I just got Wastelanded a lot and this game where I have a creature in play is just huge. Because now they take 2 for doing that, where last game I just had nothing. Ooh, we got a reader. So Eldrazi. Really wish I had an Eye of Ugin. Wow, that would go off with Realmwalker. Alright, that's not a wasteland. Could be a Swords to Plowshares, though. Though I don't think they play that card. It's probably Abrupt Decay or Assassin's Trophy. I am out of lands, notably. Oh my god. Yes, use that ability. I need to shuffle because the top of my deck. Holy shit. That was aggressive and well done. Yeah, they're gonna get rewarded for that play. Yeah, if they can answer this board before they're dead to it, then that was really smart. Dark Confidant, bold. Alright, so Eye of Ugin, I'll play that. You know, it doesn't help much. Realmwalker. Yeah, I want to attack with Realmwalker. If they want to trade 2 for 1, I'll take it. Otherwise, they take 2 damage. I don't want to trade my Eldrazi Mimic 1 for 1 with Dryad Arbor. Ball Pit is not active yet. This Urborg casts, or Urborg doesn't cast Reality Smasher because they don't have colorless mana. Wow. Harsh. Yeah, I don't have a source of colorless mana, so I actually can't cast most of the Eldrazi in my deck right now. Knight is large. Yeah, I think the aggro land destruction plan from them is gonna get over the finish line. I was about to say Endless One is the one creature that could be a good top deck still. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. I could make it 5 so I get an attack in this turn. Yeah, I think I should do that. X is 5. Yes, please do that. So I want to do that so I can keep the pressure going. Fuck. Alright, I'm dead. Can't win this game. That's a tough matchup. That's exactly what I talked about, where if your opponent can just get bigger creatures than you into play, you lose. And that's exactly what happened. So, on to the next round. Yuck, I'm on the play with another City of Traders hand. The mana is just not stable enough for me to keep this. I'm gonna mulligan. This is the same hand again, but worse. So I could just, like... No, I think I gotta mulligan this. Okay, I'll keep this. So I'm gonna go Ayabugan, Eldrazi Mimic. Bottom, Cavern, and Wasteland, I think. Or do I bottom the Chalice? So if I play Ayabugan, I don't get Chalice. So maybe I'm supposed to just play Chalice on turn 2 and hope that it works, and then follow up afterwards. Yeah, so do I bottom Eye and Cavern? So Eye is the way I cheat on mana in this hand, but that cheating doesn't help Chalice. Alright, I think I just have to give up on Chalice for this game. Unfortunately. If that was Eldrazi Temple, it would have been a lot easier. But it wasn't. Oh god, are they Reanimator? And now I'm gonna wish I had Chalice. I hope they cast Thoughtseize, though. Alright, this looks like Grixis Control, or maybe Storm. Chose to shuffle. Alright, get out of here. Alright, finding Spirit Guide was actually huge, because now I can cast Thought-Knot Seer if I find it. And get in for 4. Ooh, they missed their land drop, get wrecked. Oh, nice. Eldrazi. So this is a little awkward because I can't make it uncounterable, because that's also my colorless source. But yeah, this is the sort of game that you win. Aggro deck. My opponent kept a 1-lander with Ponder, though if they did that, they might be a combo deck. Like Grixis Control, I don't think keeps a 1-lander with Ponder. But I mean, we'll find out pretty soon. So 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. Smasher's not quite lethal. Alright, they are a combo deck, confirmed. Really like a Thought-Knot Seer. endless. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so I can put lethal on board 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so I can put lethal on board without using my spirit guide. Like 2-turn clock. It's not a... I can't kill them this turn. But this is a 2-turn clock either way. It would actually suck pretty hard to lose this because Storm is one of Eldrazi's best matchups. But I did mull to 5 and chip a Chalice. Yeah, they gotta win from 7 life this turn. If they are ad nauseum, that's gonna be hard. If they can just like Past in Flames me, it's not that hard. So they're either gonna concede or kill me here. Those are the only options. Scary. Also scary. Scary. This looks bad. Am I just gonna get Past in Flames out of here? Yep. So I guess it depends on what those last 2 cards are. Like if they have to get ad nauseum with Wishclaw Talisman, then they're gonna lose. If they have a tutor in their hand, they can get Past in Flames with the Talisman. Guess we're about to find out. Oh, no, they don't even need to do that. They can get tutor. They have the 2 floating. They cast tutor for Past in Flames and then kill me. Or did they just have Natty Tendrils? Burning Wish for 8. Alright, they're gonna peer into the abyss. Alright, so this is the Epic Storm. It's not ad nauseum tendrils. So yeah, they're gonna peer into the abyss, and if they can figure out how to kill me with half of their deck in their hand, then they're gonna be alright. I think they can do it. Alright, well, at least now we know what we're up against. And this is one of the better matchups. Alright, so the mull to 5 slowed down my pressure a bit, and they ended up winning the game at 3 life, so noted. So Warping Whale can counter Burning Wish. Thorn of Amethyst is great. Dismember is not great. Umezawa's Jete is not great. Endbringer is a clunker. So I definitely want all my Thorns. I'm not sure if Realmwalker is super important in this matchup. Like Plague Engineer if they go for Goblins, but going for Goblins isn't super popular. And I have Ratchet Bomb if I'm worried about Goblins. I think I want to stop them up front. So 4 Chalice, 4 Thorn, 4 Thought-Knot Seer. And then I don't think Warping Whale. I think I'm going to want to tap out more than that. So I have room for one more card. It's do I think Warping Whale or Ratchet Bomb is more important? Like having one live out for if they go for goblins versus having a live play against Burning Wish. Yeah, I mean, that actually sounds pretty reasonable. Is there another card I want to cut? Maybe Realmwalker? Alright, I think I'm gonna do this. Sorry, Realmwalker, you're super cool. But this is not the matchup for you. Alright, so my job is to just slam Hateful Permanence onto the stack and reduce my opponent's life total. Alright, this hand has Chalice and Thorn. I'm gonna keep. So I can turn 1 Chalice on 0 and Thorn, and then turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer. And we'll see where that goes. Chalice is better on 0 on the play, and better on 1 on the draw. I guess it depends on how they play, but their 1-drops are going to cost 2, and they're going to need their 0s to develop mana to cast their 1-drops, so I'm definitely playing Chalice on 0. Chalice for 0, Thorn. It's possible that I should lead on Thought-Knot Seer and play Thorn on turn 2, just to get my clock going, but I think that denying them any sort of development makes the most sense. A land would be great. Alright, didn't find a land. But any like 2-mana land just throws Thought-Knot Seers on the stack for the rest of the game. Alright, good enough. Okay, strong start. I don't think anything changes, though Ratchet Bomb. So now that they've seen Chalice, maybe they'll run out 0s to play around Chalice, and I can catch them with Ratchet Bomb. So I'm actually going to juke that a little bit. Ratchet Bomb also kills my Chalice, which could be a non-bow, but it is something that I'm kind of interested in. So the Warping Whale can be such a blowout. Like, I don't know, like I'm not an expert in TPS or TES or Eldrazi, so I don't know how prevalent Warping Whale on Burning Wish is in the matchup. Like, is that something that they're going to play around, or is it just like, what the heck? All right, I'm gonna. All right, forget about Ratchet Bomb. I'm doing Warping Whale. Do I want to split them? That doesn't make any sense in a non-blue deck. I don't think I can cut a Smasher. Like, I have to win the game, and that's my best way to do it. I'm gonna split them. I don't think that makes sense, but I don't know what the right answer is. If you're an Eldrazi expert, please let me know. Or an Epic Storm expert. Like, are you playing around Warping Whale? Okay, so this hand, all it does is turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, which, like, is a pretty good thing to do. But, alright, so I Endless 1, Thought-Knot Seer, Smasher. It will... so this hand kills what on... Attack for 2 on turn 2. Like, if they have a turn 1 Wishclaw Talisman, they mull to 6. Like, they're probably gonna mull to just a fast hand. I'm gonna keep this. I have a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer. Let's fucking go. So if they have, like, the Epic Storm isn't great at turn 1ing people anymore. That used to be what it did. Like, the deck was built to always do something powerful on turn 1, but that's not what the deck does anymore. Now it wants to cast like a must counter every turn. Ooh, this turn 1 Brainstorm means they must be really close. Okay, that was not impressive. Oh, that was good. So I'm gonna Endless 1 for 2 and Chalice on 0. Yeah, finding that Chalice is just like a huge weight off my shoulders. Because like LED Echo is one of their scariest things they can do. It looks like they're holding up an Abrupt Decay for me here. But I can check them with the Thought-Knot Seer. Alright, so here's Thought-Knot Seer. So now they need the Abrupt Decay for Chalice, and their hand needs to beat a discard spell. I'm not saying they can't do it, but I am saying it's a lot of pressure. I got Smasher on deck here to bring the ruckus. Veil, Echo, Decay, right. So if their top card is LED, they can go Veil of Summer, then LED can't be countered by Chalice. Do I care about Echo? And I don't really want to get echoed. This is interesting. Like, is the Abrupt Decay bait? So if they... Alright, it's got to be the Echo. Yeah. They're trying to protect the Echo by hanging that Abrupt Decay out there. They're trying to trick me. So I'm just going to take the Echo. Not falling for that. And this is where they just kill me somehow. So I get to attack for 9 next turn. Oh, that draw was insane. So I get to Smasher and Reshaper this turn because of Eye of Ugin. Yeah, so their hand is a card that they put there with Brainstorm. So they did that on purpose. Okay, so they get an extra draw out of that. Okay, fair enough. So they get to... They spike... The Chain of Vapor was the card they left on top. So they have 2 unknown cards, unknown to both players right now, plus Decay, Right, and Veil. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they are dead on board to combat. So it's now or never. I guess they can Decay Endless 1 or Reshaper. But if they leave up Decay mana, then that means they're not combo killing me this turn. Oh, I got the GGs in the chat. Alright, it looks like they're conceding. Alright, we beat a good matchup. That's lucky. On to the next round. We're on the draw in round 3. This is an easy mulligan. I have both my 6 drops and a 5 with 1 mana source and its Spirit Guide. So, Mollify. This hand is also not good. Like, alright, Eldrazi players, do you keep something like this on the draw, trying to spike a 2-mana land? So, let's check it out. So there are 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 outs in 2 draw steps. Yeah, that's not good odds. To 5 we go. Okay. I'll keep this hand, even though I don't love it. So I think Smasher and... Wait. Yeah, Smasher costing 5. That's a big ask of this hand. And endless one, probably. Yuck. And again, getting punished by City of Traders. This hand would be like serviceable to good with any Ancient Tomb, Eye of Ugin, or Eldrazi Temple land, but instead we have City of Traders. Well, I hope Chalice is good in this matchup, because it's my only plan. All in. So if this gets forced, okay, so force pitching Snap. So having the backup Chalice is pretty good here. Just hope they don't put anything horrifying into play. Alright, deck. I didn't need 3 of these. Oh, maybe I do need 3 of these. Let's find out. I'm not playing my Wasteland. The city, like the upside of leaving city in play, if I draw Ancient Tomb or one of the other soul lands, I can get Thought-Knot Seer into play. Oh, do they have Teferi? Oh, this is the low to the ground Miracles deck. Narset, sure. Ooh, whiffed. You love to see it. Okay, that's what I meant by Mana Source. Spirit Guide. Oh, this is dangerous. I am so nervous. If they Force of Will this thing and I just have like Wasteland in play against their whole deck. So I can take Force of Will and just hope my Chalice holds up. I was just gonna say we need to fade Teferi Time Raveler, and there it fucking is. Jeez. They even bounced the right thing. Okay, so land. Damn it. I don't think I can afford to Wasteland them, but I also like mostly can't afford not to. But I guess I could have played the Chalice on 0. They've done 2 Mishra's Baubles already. Yeah, I probably should have played Chalice on 0. Okay. Let me in. Alright, Force Pitching Brainstorm. Okay. No more Mishra's Baubles. This deck could have Back to Basics or Blood Moon in the sideboard, though with Mystic Sanctuary it's looking less and less likely. Right, so they have Force of Will on top of the deck. That is what they put up there, right? Yeah. So their hand is Force. Okay, so they're gonna bounce this and then plow. Oh no, they're gonna force my Chalice. Alright, how bad is Snapcaster Mage? Alright, I'm gonna attack Narset, see what happens. Alright, I have a stop on my turn in the damage step and in end of combat. So end of combat, I'm gonna Wasteland them. So now they're gonna have to pitch if they want to force with this Chalice. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, they had that one also. Okay. Well, the board is clear-ish. Alright, what do you even put on top? Is that a Ponder? Or Brainstorm? Ponder, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Fuck! Yeah, so my deck that's built on chaining together expensive threats too early has just become mana screwed. in basically every match so far. So they didn't ponder this last turn, but they are pondering this turn. That makes me think they drew a land or a blue card. Or just a way to not care anymore. Just like Cavern of Souls keeps me in this game. Alright, Dismember is the worst card. Alright, we're done. Yeah, I don't feel like this deck has insufficient mana. There are 25 lands in this deck, which is like 5 to 7 more than I play in most of my legacy decks. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we just got super unlucky when they drew that, when they found Teferi on that one turn where they had to find Teferi. Like, I did everything I was supposed to do, and then they just had Teferi. Alright, Warping Whale counters Terminus, which is probably a card this deck has. If they have 2 Mystic Sanctuaries, there's a good bet that Terminus is in the deck too. So Jitte, 2 Dismembers. Chalice is great. Realmwalker's pretty good. Do you ever take out Spirit Guide? Like, I don't know if that's just like a stupid question or what, but like exposing yourself to additional 2-for-1s against a deck that just wants to 1-for-1 you seems poor, but also like mana was our choke point in a lot of these games we've played. Maybe it's like Endbringer, and I gotta cut 2 more cards. My god, that's so many. Yeah, I think you have to bring in Warping Whale. Like, Terminus is just not a beatable card otherwise. And I'm cutting a Spirit Guide. Go nuts in the comments. Tell me why I'm crazy. Chalice is really good. Thorn's really good. You can't cut too many creatures, but yeah, I think Endbringer is the worst of them. Like, Endbringer is a card advantage engine, but this build having Realmwalker in it gives you that anyway. Can I keep a hand? Nope. Cool. I'm gonna keep this and Bottom Smasher. This is like pretty slow, but it's stable. Yeah. Someday I'll draw a Soul Land in my deck built for Soul Lands. They have played a lot of non-basic lands this game. Like, I think if they could have led on basic land, they would have. Oh, right on time. I think getting the Thorns down first is more important than playing my 3-2. Oh, we got a 2-for-1 off of that. Oh, Eldrazi. And then Thorn. Do I go for Matter Reshaper here? I think so. I mean, they can plow it, but I think that's okay. If they had a counterspell, they would have spent it on Thorn, so I'm not worried about the Cavern. And this is the important creature out of the 2 of them. Is this. Explosives on 2, okay. Perfect. Just what I needed. What the fuck? This is a changeling. It has all creature types. Okay, fine. Alright, Magic Online. You got me. Eldrazi. It's a good thing that I don't have Ayavugan in play, or I would have been pretty mad. That, or like if this extra land was a soul land and I couldn't cast my Mimic, I would have been pretty mad about it. Alright, so I can see the Mimic, but they can't. Now they see the Mimic. Chalice is not what I wanted. Yeah, and this Engineered Explosives, just with my handful of 2s, this has gone well. Alright. Now how am I dead? So the Chalice is good. Alright, that'll bounce Realmwalker. So Chalice is less good now. But I mean, it's still good. I do think Chalice is better than Thorn here. They know about this Mimic. Yeah, I've played the other side of this matchup a lot, and I actually love the matchup from that side. Just being these blue-white control decks against Eldrazi is pretty embarrassing a lot of the time for the Eldrazi player. Like Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's a card. Okay, so green 2. Since Magic Online doesn't believe me that this is an Eldrazi. This Eldrazi. Can I cast it? God, that's so annoying. Alright, I'll take a screenshot and submit for reimbursement. So we're playing for free this league. Can I announce it in a different way? God, I'm so mad right now. And by mad, I mean frustrated. Whatever. Alright. You get in there then. Alright. Should have an extra creature in play. Should be a card deeper in the deck. How important could that be? They only have 2 planeswalkers in play. And against my deck, that can only be planeswalkers by attacking them. So the Teferi being them untapping with Teferi doing the plus thing, they can Supreme Verdict on my turn. Or they could just Council's Judgment now. Wish I had 2 of those in play. Alright, so name Eldrazi again. Attack Jace for 2 with my creature that I had in play last turn. And this should be something different. Alright, I'm going to stop tilting because it's not... I'm sure that's not what you're here to see, but understandably frustrated that the Magic Online interface doesn't work. Though Jake, when they sent me this deck, they did warn me that Realmwalker did some weird stuff. Like, apparently Jake had a Realmwalker on Eldrazi and another one on Elf, but couldn't play a Spirit Guide from the top of the deck because the game was like not letting... It was like, it's not an Eldrazi, you can't play it. I don't know. Confusing cards for this old tired system. Alright, so bouncing Mimic over Realmwalker means they have another removal spell, because that's not the one they would let me keep if I get to keep one. Just like Snapcaster, Council's Judgment. If it's a sweeper, they wouldn't have. Okay, so you must have a way to draw this right now. Okay. Okay, yeah, spewing your Teferi off to do that is reasonable, I guess. Ugh. Let's draw a Reality Smasher. Well, I know my top card is Chalice, so that doesn't even count. Thorn. Mimic. Might as well make it uncounterable. Let's play around what I can. Disenchant my Chalice, okay. Alright, maybe they'll brick. What do you think the chances are? That they have nothing at all. Oh, Monastery Mentor. That's a card that beats this deck by itself. Alright, I'm dead. Had a chance to kill the Jace, but Magic Online didn't let me. So I'm gonna file for reimbursement, and we will continue this league. I'm on the draw with the most reasonable distribution of lands and spells that we've had yet in this whole league. Once Upon a Time. Are we playing the Mirror? Yup. So I get a turn 1 Chalice hand, and it's the Mirror, so it doesn't even count. And being on the draw in the Mirror means that we're going to be behind on the Thought-Knot Seer, behind on the Mimic. Everything is worse. But I have Plague Engineer to break the Mirror. So they get to Thought-Knot Seer, strip my Endbringer, attack for 4. I don't think it would have been right to wasteland them in the face of Mimic. Like, maybe I could just hope that they're on one of these, like, shitty Eldrazi hands you have to keep that just has fragile mana. And, like, screw them. But I'm not convinced that that's how you should play the game. So finding a green source to get my Realmwalker into play would be a huge deal right now. Alright, I'll take that too. At least we're staying competitive. You have 3 Ancient Tombs in your hand. Okay, I was right not to wasteland them. Alright, clap back. Any creature they draw is devastating, but let's hope they just don't. Who does this favor? If they had a creature, they would have played it and attacked with Mimic. So I think if we both end up drawing a card, they end up ahead on that exchange. So I'm gonna just take that. Okay, a second Mimic was the draw. Getting obliterated by my Realmwalkers now. Turns out that putting green cards into your colorless deck is not free. But being able to cast this and turning Mimic into a 2/3 would be so huge for me right now. Ugh, lame. Okay, so if I attack with both my creatures and they just take 6, I think I'll offer a trade with Mimic. And then I'm going to waste their Eldrazi Temple. Yeah, maybe I should trade off with the Thought-Knot Seer. I think if they offer it again, I'll take it. Take you off that. Is there any reason to put this chalice into play on any number? No, I don't think so. So now if they play the Ancient Tomb, they lose the city. They have like one shot left here. I'm gonna take the block here. I do want to develop. I feel like I'm ahead now. Alright, that was beautiful. Alright, didn't even float mana, so they got nothing over there. Okay. Eldrazi. So now my Mimic... Oh no. Again with this. I forgot. Now I have to take 2 life in this matchup where having... And it didn't even count. Oh, it's another colorless creature. Okay, that I'm not mad about that one. I take it all back. You get away with that one. All right. So they didn't have a 4-drop last turn. Great, they found one. And because I had to tap Ancient Tomb, I have to block one of these Eldrazi Mimics, or else, like, I could have just gone to 2 and... Ugh. A pain in the ass. Alright, so that's gonna die. I draw Thought-Knot Seer here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Seer. See their hand with no spells in it. Yep. 2 Wastelands, pretty scary. Yeah, that 2 life that I had to pay. Like, now they can waste my Eldrazi Temple, and Ancient Tomb, I only get to tap 1 more time. They could just attack with everything, waste Eldrazi Temple, and then I just have nothing. They could also draw Smasher and just kill me. 5, 10, 4, yep. Okay. Yeah. This is becoming seriously frustrating. So the Chalice of the Voids go out. Plague Engineer comes in. The technology. This is what I got. And I guess Ratchet Bomb or Warping Whale. Exile. I can exile a Mimic or create a chump compared to... What does Ratchet Bomb even do? Like nothing? Yeah, alright. Ratchet Bomb is in. Alright, here's the deck. Realmwalker didn't give me this much trouble when I was playing Advisors a couple weeks ago. Like, this is not my first foray with Realmwalker, but it is the first one that's gone this poorly. Alright, I'll keep... I'm gonna lead on Temple so I can turn to Seer. And then I have the Plague Engineer. Batting Cleanup. They could try to just waste me, I guess, but I think that's a reasonable play depending on what your hand looks like. The Reshaper, sure. See what you got. Endless One and Thought-Knot Seer. I'll take the Seer. Temple, Seer for 4. Pass the turn. I guess they could attack to try to draw a card. Or to draw a card, but... Alright, Ayavugan, what's up? Alright, I'm just on the play and doing big things this game. So they basically need, like, Dismember right now.
I found something. It's another endless one. Oh, it's a smasher. Do they get in for 5? The other 2 creatures can't attack. That's fine. That's not going to happen again. Thought Not Seer. So I can Wasteland, Thought Not Seer, still activate Endbringer. Is Wasteland even important, I guess, is the question. Like, I can use Endbringer to make Smasher unable to attack or block. Guess I can check their hand with Thought Not Seer first. And then decide what I want to do. Ancient Tomb. Did I know that already? Maybe I did. Alright, Ancient Tomb in hand. So wasting them doesn't matter. So I can play Plague Engineer and just trade it off with Reality Smasher. Or I can draw a card with Endbringer. I could make a 4/4 endless one. Alright, I'm not playing Plague Engineer, I've decided. So I could pay 2 life to draw a card. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty great. Right, Dismember is a good one. Endbringer on taps on their turn. It can pacify Smasher. So they still get to attack with Endless One. Because they would take that trade. I go to 4, or 5 with my Ancient Tomb. Oh, if I go to 5, I can't cast this. Oh, I have Urborg, I can cast Dismember easily. So I could trade, give them an extra card, or just try to punch through. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take my 5, and I can cast Plague Engineer this turn. Oh no. Wow. Alright, never mind. Don't have Plague Engineer anymore. I wonder if they're more worried about Dismember or Plague Engineer. I guess even Endless One is just an enormous creature on this board. So my hand's pretty good all around, though I think that was one of their best draws. They took Endless One, alright. Or activate abilities of colorless Eldrazi. Perfect. Does Magic Online know that this is an Eldrazi? Yes. Okay, good. Alright, Jitte's really good. So, black, 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 Plague Engineer, Eldrazi. So now all of my Eldrazi beat all of theirs in combat, and I have a Death Touch creature. Endbringer can still pacify Reality Smasher if I even care, and I don't think that I do. I go ahead, bring it. Because 5/5 is bigger than 4/4 now. And if I don't use it to pacify something, I can start pinging them and start dealing damage to win this game. They can have this trigger. I'm not taking damage for free like this. Smasher's pretty good. Oh, right. They also have Urborg because I have Urborg. That's how Urborg works. Okay. There's that. End step. Deal 1 to my opponent. Alright, so I can draw another card. Sounds good to me. Another Wasteland. So Wasteland is the same as Llanowar Waste for me right now. What does getting Jitte into play do? Alright, so it's good, is the answer. I'm gonna put Jitte on Thought Not Seer. And then I still have Endbringer's activation available to me. I can freeze one of the Smashers, trade with the other. Alright, Ratchet Bomb. Several turns from now, something's gonna happen. Alright, a Smasher of my own. Hooray. So I can dismember something, smash something else. So if I use the dismember to blow out combat, I think that's the best use of that. So 1, 2, 3. Probably should have tapped Eldrazi Temple for that. Yeah, that, I don't know if that actually matters. So if I attack with Smasher and Thought Not Seer, Endbringer can make something incapable of blocking. If I make one of their Smashers unable to block, so I'm at super low life here. I can also just move the Jitte onto Smasher and bring the pain that way. I think I just mistapped again. Okay. Yeah, so I left up Ancient Tomb, which hurts me if I tap it for colorless, but if I had tapped Ancient Tomb for black, then I could have drawn a card with Endbringer and still used Wasteland to pacify one of the creatures. So a lot of small missteps there that didn't end up costing me, but whoa, these decks are not in my wheelhouse. But at least I'm recognizing the mistakes I'm making. And Plague Engineer did win that game. Like, that was a Plague Engineer special. So they brought in the Ratchet Bomb. Do I assume that they know what they're doing? Or do I just leave my Warping Wail in the deck? I think they probably know what they're doing. At least better than I do. That's my plan there. The no-lander. Okay, that's way better. I'm gonna keep this, and I think I'm actually sending Cavern to the bottom, because Llanowar Waste casts this Carrier and my Realmwalker, and they don't have counter spells anyway. Oh, how many Mimics do you have? Let's do that same thing. Though, yeah, that does seem like the best thing to do. Yeah, if one of these was Ancient Tomb or City of Traders instead of Temple, I would try to play to the Engineer, which is a huge beating here. Actually, if yeah, I've actually talked myself into it. Yeah, so I'm going to play the Mimic, and I can play a 4/4 Endless one next turn into Plague Engineer the turn after that. And they might have Thought Not Seer, but I can't play through that anyway. If I commit to Ayabugan and just put a bunch of little shitters into play, that's turn 4 before I can Plague Engineer. Yeah, I think... So they took Endless one last time they could make this choice, and I think it's still the right choice, even though Plague Engineer was such a huge beating. in the last match, or the last round, last game, whatever happened. But yeah, just a 4/4 creature is just much better. All right, I'm gonna take my trade here. Like, I'm on D right now. All right, good. So yeah, I'm gonna play my Temple. And Reshaper was a pretty good draw, because that's a blocker that I don't mind throwing under a 4/4 if necessary. Can also just flip Plague Engineer into play if there's a Plague Engineer on top. And this lets me play around Wasteland on my black source. It doesn't play around the second Thought-Knot Seer, though, so good for you. Being on the draw in this matchup is some horseshit. Ugh. So I can go to 8. Or I can, and like 4, 8, 9, 10, 8, 2. So what am I looking for? I guess Plague Engineer is the answer. Like, if I block Reshaper, I get an extra look at a card. But if I draw any creature, I can double block next turn. No, I think I'm just going to block. Reality Smasher is in my hand, and Endbringer. 4, 8, 9, 10. Alright, I'm dead. Yep, outdrawn in the mirror match. That's why I don't like decks like this, where it's just like, these are your cards. Good luck with them. Like, I want to brainstorm, I want to ponder, I want to make meaningful decisions in the course of a match. That is not to say there are no decisions to be made with a deck like this, like we saw in the games where we actually did play a bit, that like sequencing your lands and what lands you tap, like with Urborg and with Endbringer, and like there are decisions to make. It's not brainless, that's not what I'm saying, but like when your opponent just has you beat and there's nothing you can do about it, I don't like that. Right, I'm on the draw in the final round. I'm going to keep. I have a turn 1 Mimic. Oh, Wasteland? So I could waste this Dryad Arbor and hope that that's something that is good for me. Like, I don't have a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna try to screw this up. Not sure if that's right, but it's what I did. Deal with it. Imagine if I was on the play and had Eldrazi Mimic, and then they did that same thing, and I went Wasteland your Trop, Dismember your creature, attack for 2. Just play draw, such a big deal here. Oh, Birds of Paradise. Okay. I better get on board now. I can't spend a turn dismembering a Birds of Paradise at this point. I wonder if I'm playing against Olurin. Yeah, here's my handful of cards. Enjoy them. Every time I play Eldrazi or decks like this, I'm just jealous of my opponents who get all these cool spells. And I get the top of my deck, the Mercy of the Magic Gods. Like, I just feel like I'm gonna get natural ordered in the next turn, and there's nothing I can do about it. Oh, a Tarmogoyf, I can't beat that one either. Yeah, stripping Dismember is a big. I have Tarmogoyf flex. Yep, 4/5. Biggest creature in my deck is a 5/5. They just took one of my 2 Dismembers. They do have 2 cards left in hand, though, so I can cast an uncounterable Thought-Knot Seer next turn. What's happening? Do you have Fatal Push? Oh, Cling to Dust. Alright. Alright, so they cycled Cling to Dust, basically. Begin the bleed out. So I probably bring in Plague Engineer in this matchup. Scavenging Ooze also gets bigger than everything I'm doing over time. It is a non-bow with Tarmogoyf, though. Alright. Jesus. Oh, I hate when my opponents know how to play. So I guess I play this, name Eldrazi. Attack for 2. Yeah, they don't have green mana. They're not going to trade their ooze. I'm not going to block, so I better attack. I will play to my outs, though I think I should concede here. I think it's perfectly reasonable, and that this game is not going anywhere fast. But if I draw Eldrazi Temple or Eye of Ugin, I could keep playing here. Leovold. Chalice of the Void. Okay, I'm dead. Can't cast a spell for a whole turn cycle, and I'm dead to their board currently, so off it. And now if I Thought-Knot Seer them, they also just draw a card. What? Okay, so Ratchet Bombs coming in. I'm not sure how important Chalice is. Like, we saw Assassin's Trophy in the main deck. Bug decks aren't known for their density of 1-drops anyway. Could Warping Wail. I think Plague Engineer is probably better, though. He's more likely to kill a Tarmogoyf or attack through one. Engineer. I don't think I'm cutting any of these other cards, so maybe just 2 Engineers come in with the 2 bombs. Okay, let's do that. Like, Thorn of Amethyst could come in, but Tarmogoyf, Leovold, Birds of Paradise, this is clearly a creature-heavy deck. Yeah, we played against a lot of tough matchups. We beat Storm, which is one we're supposed to beat, but all of these decks with creatures and removal spells and the fair decks. I think playing Eldrazi in the Uro world is kind of bold in general. Hopefully we can salvage this, but I'm not sure. We'll see. I don't feel good about this matchup at all. Nothing going on there. Even worse. Alright. Here is a 5-card hand. I think I bought him one of the endless ones. Maybe just both of the endless ones. Definitely one of them. And then it's either Spirit Guide. I think it's Spirit Guide, actually. So I'll play Endless One. And then I'll play Realmwalker. And hopefully curve into Thought-Knot Seer. This just feels like I'm playing limited, though. I don't know if it's normal to mull to 5 as much as I have with this deck. Like 25 lands, plus the Spirit Guides, and just ship a lot of no-landers. I'll just take 3 to cast my spell. YOLO. Also pretty sure I'm not supposed to be able to see the top of my deck before I choose what creature I'm going to name. but that's how it has worked all day here so far. I am excited to find Cavern, though. That is a good draw. Cast the Thought-Knot Seer. That gets things rolling. I don't have to search with Assassin's Trophy. But they need black mana before that's even a concern. If they cast Leovold right here and get ahead of my Thought-Knot Seer, that's bad news. Baleful Strix is also largely unbeatable. Eldrazi. This endless one gets to keep pounding. Green Sun Zenith, Brainstorm. Zenith can get Leovold next turn. I don't love this Scavenging Ooze, but I like Leovold even less. Right, endless one can attack. They're not going to trade with this. I guess they could and just make Ooze a 4/4 right away, but I'm still fine with them trading off Strix for this compared to the other creatures that are in my deck. And now we're in trouble because 6-drop in hand, 6-drop on top. If I hit Eldrazi off the top, then I don't hit a land. If I hit a land, then I don't cast any spells for a whole turn. Oh, they found Tarmogoyf that turn. Cool. Okay, so I actually get a big turn of attacking here. Attacking with Strix was bold. One. So they played the Bayou that turn. And the Ooze. So they can go Brainstorm, that's bigger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just gonna crush with everything. A 0/1 Tarmogoyf is quite the adventure. Okay. That's good, actually. Scavenging Ooze was going to get huge. Endbringer coming next turn. I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 this turn. Up to 4. Maybe more. I guess they could always do more stuff. If they find a fetch land, which is what they're looking for, then it's 3. Strix is probably going to stop attacking. I bet they regret the attack they did make with it. Unless, oh, but that top land is also Ancient Tomb, so Endbringer might be the last spell I get this game. Ugh. Alright, they left the Strix back this time. They've learned their lesson, unfortunately. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to go to 4 and get Endbringer into play. Endbringer can answer Strix meaningfully. Let's hope they didn't find an Assassin's Trophy. I'm not ready to trade off any of these cards yet. Answer the Strix. Great. Alright, I lose. I needed that Endbringer to answer Strix so I could start punching through and pacifying the Tarmogoyf. Like, now I'm at 4. I can't even cast these things again because of Ancient Tomb. Jace is just going to bury me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can cast this, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I can't get out from this low life total. Alright, the green-black Eldrazi experiment was a rough one. I'm pretty sure that I got unlucky a lot. Or maybe I just don't know how to mulligan with this deck. Like, maybe you need to keep those, like, lands that need... Those hands that need a soul land on 6 and just hope to get there. Maybe I need to have more faith in the deck than I did. But this felt pretty bad in the metagame. Like, Eldrazi certainly has times where it's good, but Like Teferi Time Raveler is a card that exists right now to clear out chalices out of the fair blue decks, and Uro is in all the green blue decks, and Uro just blanks your whole shit. Like, nice wasteland, Uro, replace the land, and eventually it'll just be bigger than all your creatures and gain life. So this was kind of a disaster. The rules not working also with the Realmwalker being bugged punished me in a couple of spots. So I'm not gonna be too harsh on it when the deck doesn't actually function because of the client. But Jake, thanks for the list. It's nice to remind myself once in a while why I don't play Eldrazi. Congrats on your 5-0. I did almost the opposite. It could work for some people. It doesn't work for me. Everyone, thanks for watching. Sorry for the frustration. It was unavoidable when the cards don't work, but hopefully it wasn't too miserable. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.